Legio IX Hispana was one of the most famous legions of the Roman army, renowned for its participation in many conflicts, including Caesar's campaigns in Gaul and the civil wars against Pompey. Later, the legion played a crucial role during the invasion of Britain under Emperor Claudius, but after AD 108 it disappears from historical records, a fact that continues to provoke speculation and debate to this day. According to some historians, the legion was destroyed during an uprising in northern Britain, while others believe it was transferred to another part of the empire, where it became involved in further military conflicts. Today, we will guide you through the entire story of the disappearance of the 9th Roman Legion, examining its glorious history as well as the conspiracies and theories surrounding what may have happened to it. A legion was the largest military unit of the Roman army. The term legion itself comes from the Latin legio, meaning levi or gathering, derived from the verb legere, to select or gather. From this word also comes the designation for members of the legion, known as legionaries. Only a Roman citizen under the age of 45 could become a legionary, committing himself to 25 years of service. During the Roman Republic, a legion consisted of around 4,200 heavy infantry and 300 cavalry, with the infantry divided into maniples of approximately 120 men. This system changed with the military reform of 107 BC, which introduced a professional standing army. Soldiers were recruited for long-term service and equipped by the state. After this reform, legions were maintained permanently and fielded a larger number of troops, around 5,200 heavy infantry, divided into 10 cohorts. The first cohort was elite and usually numbered around 800 men. The remaining cohorts each had approximately 480 soldiers, further divided into centuries of 80 legionaries. Each century was commanded by a centurion, an experienced officer responsible for discipline and leadership. Legions were supported by auxiliary units composed of non-Roman soldiers, providing specialized troops such as cavalry, archers, and light infantry. Roman legionaries were equipped with carefully designed armor that balanced protection and combat effectiveness. They wore the Gallia helmet, the segmented armor larica segmentata, and carried the large rectangular scutum shield, which offered excellent protection. Their main weapons were the short sword gladius and the throwing spear pilum, which legionaries hurled at the enemy at the beginning of an attack. Roman legions were more than mere military units. They were carriers of Roman culture, political power, and imperial expansion. Legionaries not only fought but also helped build infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and fortifications, strengthening Roman control over conquered territories. Thanks to their organization, discipline, and adaptability, Roman legions earned a reputation as the finest military force of the ancient world. At the height of the Roman Empire, there were between 28 and 30 legions. During the time of Caesar and Pompey, Roman legions were identified by numbers rather than names. The 9th Legion served under Caesar during his governorship of Hispania and took part in both his campaigns in Gaul and the civil war against Pompey. Throughout these conflicts, the legion demonstrated its combat prowess and loyalty to its commander. There are accounts stating that the legion initiated a mutiny in protest against low pay and the lack of war booty, which often supplemented the modest salary of a Roman legionary. This unrest led to strict disciplinary measures by the command, including the threat of decimation, a punishment in which every 10th soldier was executed. After Caesar's death, the 9th Legion was reorganized under Octavian, later Emperor Augustus. In 25 BC, it took part in the Cantabrian Wars, fighting against tribes in northern Hispania. During this campaign, the legion was given the name Hispaniensis, later shortened to Hispana, from which its full title, Legio IX Hispana, was derived. In AD 14, following the death of Emperor Augustus, a mutiny broke out in Pannonia among 3 legions, Legio Octava Augusta, Legio Nona Hispana, and Legio Quintadecima Apollinaris. Many soldiers were dissatisfied with the conditions of military service, particularly low pay and long periods without opportunities to profit from war booty. The mutiny was incited by a legionary named Pescennius, who spoke openly about the hardship soldiers endured and the injustice they felt at not being adequately rewarded. Pescennius openly criticized the new Emperor Tiberius and the Roman political system. Tiberius responded by sending his son Drusus to Pannonia to resolve the situation. Upon his arrival, a natural phenomenon appeared in the sky, which the legionaries interpreted as a divine sign and began to reconsider the mutiny. Drusus seized the opportunity, addressed the troops, ordered the execution of the main instigators, including Pescennius, and restored discipline within the legions. In AD 20, Legio IX Hispana was transferred from Pannonia to North Africa, where it joined campaigns against the Numidian leader Tacfarinas, who was leading a rebellion against Roman rule. Under the command of Gaius Fulvius and the centurion Decrius, the legion attempted to attack Tacfarinas' forces, but the assault ended in failure. Inexperienced legionaries retreated back to the camp, leaving their commander to certain death. The governor, Lucius Apronius, demanded harsh punishment and ordered the decimation of a cohort. The condemned cohort was divided into groups of 10 soldiers. Lots were drawn, and the man on whom the lot fell was killed by his comrades, often by stoning or beating. The remaining soldiers received barley instead of wheat and were forced to spend the night outside the camp as punishment. Because decimation significantly weakened an army, commanders resorted to it only rarely. In AD 22, Legio IX, under Cornelius Scipio, succeeded in another attack against Tacfarinas, and the rebellion was defeated. Although Tacfarinas attempted to renew the revolt, he was eventually killed, bringing the uprising to a definitive end. In AD 43, the 9th Legion took part in the invasion of Britain under Emperor Claudius. The invasion was part of Rome's expansion into the British Isles. The legion was tasked with subduing local Celtic tribes and establishing Roman rule. Initially stationed in Londinium, it later moved to Lindum. During Boudicca's revolt in AD 60, the 9th Legion, under the command of Petilius Cerialis, was almost destroyed. Boudicca's uprising was a major rebellion of British tribes against Roman rule, led by the Iceni queen Boudicca. According to Tacitus and other historians, the legion took part in suppressing the revolt but was ambushed near Camulodunum, the seat of Roman authority, where its cohorts were nearly annihilated. After this disaster, Rome sent 2,000 soldiers from 21st Legion to replenish the 9th Legion's losses. In AD 83, the 9th Legion served under Gnaeus Julius Agricola, governor of Britain, during campaigns against tribes in what is now Scotland. Agricola achieved several victories, but during one night the 9th Legion was attacked in a large-scale nocturnal assault by the Caledonians and narrowly avoided destruction. Agricola later defeated the Caledonians at the Battle of Mons Graupius, one of the largest battles of the campaign. After this victory, Agricola planned further expansion but was recalled by Emperor Domitian. The 9th Legion returned to Britain, establishing its base at Eboracum, modern-day York. As Britain remained an unstable province, the legion's presence was crucial for maintaining Roman control. After AD 90, however, references to the legion became increasingly scarce. The last generally accepted mention of Legio IX comes from an inscription found in Eboracum dated around AD 108. After that, there are no records or documents, almost as if the legion vanished from the face of the earth. The theory that the 9th Legion was destroyed in battle against the Picts is one of the most popular and frequently debated among historians, archaeologists, and enthusiasts. The Picts were known for their guerrilla tactics, bravery, and detailed knowledge of the terrain, using forests and mountains to their advantage. Their swift attacks could be deadly for a Roman army. If the 9th Legion ventured deep into hostile territory in the far north, it could have been surrounded and annihilated. Supporters of this theory point to the absence of any mention of the legion after AD 108, suggesting its destruction during a military conflict. The major shift in Roman strategy in Britain culminating in the construction of Hadrian's Wall around AD 122, may also indicate a reaction to a catastrophic defeat. Hadrian's Wall marked the northern boundary of the Roman Empire and halted further expansion northward. The loss of an entire legion may have been considered too shameful to record openly, and Roman propaganda could have deliberately avoided mentioning the defeat. On the other hand, there are strong arguments against this theory. No archaeological evidence, such as mass graves, weapons, or battlefield remains, has been discovered to confirm the destruction of a legion in northern Britain. Moreover, some scholars believe the legion was not destroyed in Britain at all, but transferred elsewhere in the empire, possibly to the eastern frontier to fight the Parthians. The construction of Hadrian's Wall may also have been a preventative measure rather than a response to a single disaster. Another theory suggests that the Ninth Legion was transferred from Britain to Judea to suppress the Second Jewish Revolt in AD 132. The Roman Empire required experienced troops to deal with such a large-scale uprising, and the Ninth Legion could have been a suitable candidate. The revolt, also known as the Bar Kokhba Revolt, was one of the most destructive uprisings Rome ever faced. Jewish rebels led by Simon Bar Kokhba seized significant territory, including Jerusalem. Suppressing the revolt required the deployment of numerous legions and auxiliary forces. This theory fits chronologically, as the last confirmed mention of the Ninth Legion dates to around AD 108. Its subsequent disappearance could be explained by a transfer eastward. However, no direct evidence places the legion in Judea, and Roman records of the conflict do not mention it. Additionally, the Ninth Legion played a key role in maintaining security in Britain, and its sudden removal would have significantly weakened Roman control, unless compensated by other defensive measures, such as Hadrian's Wall. A third theory proposes that the Ninth Legion was destroyed during the Parthian Wars in the 160s AD. The Roman historian Cassius Dio mentions that one Roman legion was destroyed during these conflicts, although he does not specify which one. Some scholars speculate that this may have been the Ninth Legion. This theory aligns chronologically, as the legion disappears from British records after AD 108. Roman military strategy often involved transferring legions across the empire as needed, making such a redeployment plausible. Roman legions suffered heavy losses during the Parthian Wars, facing highly mobile Parthian cavalry and unfamiliar terrain. However, as with the other theories, there is no direct evidence linking Legio IX Hispana to the eastern frontier, and the anonymous reference in Cassius Dio's account is insufficient to draw a definitive conclusion. A fourth theory suggests that the Ninth Legion was not destroyed but simply disbanded or absorbed into other units. Transfers and reorganizations were common in the Roman army. According to this hypothesis, the legion may have been deployed to poorly documented campaigns and eventually dissolved or merged with other formations. Nevertheless, it seems unlikely that such a respected and experienced legion would have been disbanded without leaving any clear record of its fate. Alien intervention can explain almost anything, from lost memories after a party to the disappearance of entire expeditions, and even the fate of the Ninth Legion. This idea, however, relies on pop culture, speculation, and conspiracy theories rather than historical or scientific evidence. Supporters argue that the complete absence of records, the sudden disappearance of the Legion, and the lack of archaeological evidence could point to extraterrestrial involvement. According to this view, aliens may have abducted the entire Legion for study. Against this theory stands a total absence of any credible evidence. It is also highly unlikely that such an extraordinary event would have gone entirely unrecorded in Roman sources, which, even when exaggerated, would almost certainly have mentioned something so unusual. The Silchester eagle is a bronze artifact dating from the 1st or 2nd century AD, discovered on October 9, 1866, during excavations at the Roman town of Corleva Atrebatum, modern Silchester in Hampshire, England. The artifact stands about 15 centimeters tall and is hollow, with access through a now missing square lid at the top. It is currently housed in the museum in Reading, Berkshire. The eagle was partially damaged and originally lacked wings. It was found buried in a layer of burnt wood, leading to theories that it may have been a sacred legionary eagle hidden during a time of unrest. The curvature of its legs suggests it once held a globe, similar to statues of the god Jupiter. The artifact has particular significance in connection with the Ninth Legion, as some believe it may have belonged to Legio IX Hispana. According to some theories, the Legion's eagle was lost or stolen, and the Silchester eagle could represent this missing symbol. Because of its mysterious disappearance and historical importance, the Ninth Legion has frequently appeared in films and television series, which often interpret its fate freely. The film Centurion offers an action-oriented portrayal of the Legion's destruction during battles against the Picts. The Eagle is an adaptation of the novel by Rosemary Sutcliffe and follows a Roman officer searching for the lost standard of the Ninth Legion. The series Britannia does not directly depict the Legion but is set during the Roman occupation of Britain and explores conflicts with Celtic tribes, incorporating mystical and fantasy elements. An episode of Doctor Who, The Eaters of Light, focuses on the disappearance of the Ninth Legion, explaining it through a fictional conflict with alien creatures. And that brings us to the end of today's story. What do you think was the real reason behind the disappearance of the Ninth Legion? Would you like to hear more stories like this? Let us know in the comments.